that. Come
That's
on,
just
that's
cruel.
pretty.
That is very pretty, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just bad
Yeah, this
for
is really
Levon.
bad.
Yeah, it's just.
And knight takes c8, knight takes a6 is a very nice way of clipping a pawn.
Yeah, he is now basically looking for the best way to give up the pawn on a6 and maybe bring some pieces back into the game. Like knight ac6 here, I guess he is. Yeah, that's what you play.
Yeah.
And you actually hope that white has nothing stronger than knight c8, knight a6, because then you play king e7, knight d6, and you at least get some pieces to function. You're still probably completely lost.
It might be one of those moments where king c3, you don't even have to do anything with the
King
white
c3,
PC.
a2, a4, knight d4 actually is something that black wants. So king c3, yeah, I very much.
Yeah, start with king c3. I don't think any human plays the engine move here, which is knight b8.
Knight b8?
Yeah. You gotta defend your pawn on a6.
Oof.
True. True, by the way.
That is a large oof. And the problem is, like, if you go knight b8, a4 just collects your entire queen side.
Yeah.
Black is lost. Black is just lost.
Yeah.
And Tom said, Zugzwang, I'm telling you, it's working. It's working. I mean,
Magic is working.
I mean, the production teams, asking for their master certificates. Just mastery. You watch enough of our broadcasts.
It's been enough broadcasts by this point. They should be familiar with some terms.
Yeah.
And Tom says he's working on it. We're working on his German.
It's German.
F7, F6,
It
and
doesn't
now it's time for the harvest.
The harvest commences.
Yeah.
But just the question is how, right? Do you go a4?
I very much like the idea of going
A4.
a4 in pretty much any
that's such a
position,
pretty
yeah.
move. Such a pretty move. It just makes sure that the queen side is well and truly shattered.
Yep.
And
There it is.
Wesley recognizes, gold when he sees it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you sometimes when you finally get rid of some of your weaknesses, your position kind of starts to breathe. This is not the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like after takes on a4 with black, you kind of want to trade your 3 pawns for the 1 white pawn. But
And you're not going to get it
You're not
either.
even close. You're not even remotely close.
Right.
Yeah, the entire queen side is going to disappear. You will be 2 down, and your position will remain more. You can lose in a very spectacular fashion by going ba4, bishop takes c4, bishop b7, where knight d7 actually is mate.
Oh, that's pretty. I have to show that to our audience because that's not
a usual
mating,
construction.
pattern that we're used to seeing. The
That
knights
is not
covering
something that
E8.
happens very often. Yeah.
Pretty.
Yeah, and the next one is MVL on the white side against Wesley, and then we will conclude with Levon trying to, we assume, come back.
If necessary, right?
If
Yeah, if Wesley actually wins the second one,
Yeah, that's it.
The tournament is just
we
over. The
have a
third one
move,
probably
but-
doesn't get played. Knight a7 played.
A7.
Yeah, you can even maybe. But I mean, eventually you have to start cashing in. Like take. Yeah, king before king c5 is actually, yeah, if you want to continue really like the dominance,
positional overkill.
dominance
There's
and
no
joy
reason
are-
not to, right? King
Right.
b4 looks like a great move here.
Wow.
Yeah, king before king c5.
On that subject, Peter, that you mentioned of, you lose a weakness, you get some play for it. It reminds me of Dr. John Nunn. He played the Tarash against Ulf Anderson, lost an isolated queen pawn position after 100 moves. The second time he played the Tarash, he blundered the isolated queen pawn on move
And
15,
drew.
made an easy draw
made an easy draw,
because he didn't have to defend anything for the rest of the game. There was no weaknesses for Ulf to attack.
Yeah, it's a known phenomenon, but
Not here.
Clearly not very true here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Wesley is very much
Aware.
he's gone
that
F2, F3 is also.
Wow.
That's a lot of patience. That is a lot of patience.
I
from this
see
young
you are
man.
also a man of culture.
Wow. F2, F3. Just
I see you're a man
If-
of culture.
if you go bishop b7.
It's always met by knight d7, knight c5. Doesn't really improve anything. Although I think I do it here just to then bring it back to f8, to c8, and hope that
Drop the a6 pawn,
I don't
though.
know, yeah, but honestly, whatever you do. Here,
Yeah.
Whatever you do.
But
here.
F2, F3. Okay, boss chair.
F2, F3 is just such
Wow.
an annoying move to face.
Right.
Yeah, like
Wow.
There was one thing that could potentially hang in the future, so now
So
it's
now
no
it's
longer
not
hanging.
hanging.
Now
Yes.
it's no longer hanging.
In which variation was it hanging? None. But now
And
it's.
by the way, if Wesley was behind on the clock,
He's now,
somewhere
comfortably
midway,
ahead,
guess what? Levon's got a bad position in the bad clock time too.
45 seconds, and G5 does not help your
Avo-
position.
yeah,
much.
but it avoids mates.
That's
yeah,
true.
definitely gives himself a G7 square for the queen, for the
certainly-
king. Yeah, but
it certainly
yeah,
does.
Yeah, but as I said, like eventually you just go knight C8, knight C8, knight A6, and you win very comfortably.
Agreed. Just taking off the pawn. We had previously also mentioned
That is not bad,
positional
but-
overkill with
that
king
is not
b4 to
bad.
king c5. But it's certainly Wesley just enjoying the moment with an extra minute. My
Yep,
eyes
extra
aren't-
minute.
Extra minute.
Extra position. He's good. This should be
He's very
smooth
good.
sailing for Wesley.
Yeah, I still remember there was a
Yeah, there
Finally.
we go.
knight takes the the harvest. Yeah, it was the return of Garry Kasparov, and Wesley played a blitz game with Garry, where Wesley absolutely destroyed Garry, and Garry came in and said, I felt like the amateur versus Paul Morphy. You know? I mean, Wesley can make you look bad. I mean, he's
Yeah,
really good.
I can-
And knight takes
I can
a6 on the
definitely
board.
relate, yeah.
Yeah, this whole structure on the queen side, as Alejandro mentioned, you can take that pawn on a4, but after bishop takes c4,
Yeah, bishop, even king takes is not bad, just to get it to c5 as early as possible, take away some squares from those knights.
exactly, this pawn on a4 is not being traded for this pawn on
No.
b2. King takes c4, looks like a very good move. Peter, I like that a lot.
Yeah, I think it actually is slightly cleaner than bishop takes.
Well,
but both are completely fine.
Well,
of course.
the beautiful part is you put a white king on the c5 square and it starts to dominate these two knights. The knights are just, black knights are just simply awful.
Yeah, he has played king takes c4.
Very good.
Worms, the cockles, and so on. Yeah, knight
Exactly.
c6. We go king c5, I think, here.
King c5, bishop
One-
d1.
Yeah, bishop d1 not bad, but I kind of...
King c5 is simple. I like that too. Knight c5. No. We're the vultures, just picking bones. That's all we're doing here, Alejandro.
Yeah, knight
10
e5, and then...
seconds.
His
Yeah.
bones are pretty clean. His bones are pretty clean.
Yeah, they've been, yeah.
They've been
Picked
gnawed.
over. Knight c7 to d5.
Knight c7 is good, but you could also just go king before knight c5, take on a4, and yeah, you like everything is so well protected on the king side that like there's just no counterplay you need to necessarily worry about.
Thanks to f2,
yeah,
f3.
but abandoning the very beautiful post on c5 feels like aesthetically it's not as pleasing in some other as some other
Exactly.
solutions might be.
But a pawn's a pawn.
Yeah, I mean a4. This is the way you
He
eventually.
just needs to
will win.
remember he does
Yeah,
play
king-
on 5-second increments, so he doesn't want to leave himself no time.
No.
Yeah,
5 seconds is
chosen,
generous. I mean,
5 seconds is pretty good.
these players are really, I want to say, very well trained in 3 versus 2. So they're used just to having only a mere 2-second increment. Okay, finally, Levon, this got...
Interesting that he played king b3 there and not king b5, but none of this should matter really. I mean, I think he just kind of tuned out the fact that the b5 square existed at all, because like, I don't think you ever not play king b5 there.
let me catch up with the players. How would I do that? How do I refresh my board?
That's an interesting question. I think possibly
Go for it.
clicking there might work.
There
or
we
not.
go.
Well, they're
Yes.
on a blitz mode.
There you are.
No, that's not good.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a good enough shot at the moment.
Yeah.
The knight on e3 is going to come to f5, where it controls the king completely.
And his
Yeah, I have to
happen.
go back and...
some point you go.
Yeah,
king
it's
c3.
the sort of making a final progress is the question. But yeah, eventually
Two
like,
extra pawns.
yeah, b3,
Yeah.
king c3.
You
Yeah.
just can't post enough questions with this material balance.
Yeah, just go b3. Now king
Now
c3
king
is a
c3.
threat with ideas of b4 and making further and further progress. Also, you have
Yeah,
zero
just-
weaknesses and you are two healthy pawns up. So, yeah, like king b4 and now, yeah, you just need to create one threat here
Knight
somehow.
e3.
He's looking at h4, which I quite like. Just push it to h5 so that h7 also becomes a future target. gh is too horrible to contemplate, although, yeah, maybe everything else is even worse. Yeah, he goes gh, knight
Knight
takes, I
knight
guess.
takes
Yeah, like
h4.
we're not spoiling our structure, but for no particular reason.
Yeah, I don't like giving up the f4 square either, that the knight could potentially go g6, f4. But
Still, of course, completely winning. But,
Of course.
Yeah, 97, knight c5 is, you know, arguably counterplay of swords, but not really.
I just have to give Levon a lot of credit because he just had such an awful position. He's doing his best
He's
fighting.
level best trying to find some chances, but yeah, you just... The issue here is that your position cannot really be improved. You can just sort of continue making moves. But let's say, even if you... Bishop d1, and that's why I think he just goes king d2 here. And
Exactly.
that knight ending is completely lost, for instance. If you go for that knight ending, I think it's just completely and utterly
After
lost because of
king
your...
d2. Yeah,
Because of your weaknesses on the king side, you never hold that.
exactly.
But he's down to 8 seconds, yeah. Strangest things
King
have happened.
b2.
Yeah, this is not like 93 check
Whoa.
now, and you probably have to take that move back. But he will gain
Yes.
some time. Yeah, you have to. Yeah, you have to play
Okay.
king d2 here.
Come on. King d2.
Yeah,
Whoa.
93.
Also winning.
Still fine. Yeah, yeah. F6 is way too weak for black to actually sustain this. But yeah, 94. I guess you go. Yeah, king b2 was king b2 93 check actually was maybe slightly suboptimal, but. Yeah, this is the issue for Levon here, is that, yeah, he's won the pawn on b3 with check. His position is still completely lost. Like, we go king d3 here, or even bishop takes b3, but there's no reason not to start with king d3,
I
because the
love
knights,
king d3.
the knights
are
cannot
stuck.
really unstick.
Unstuck, unglue.
Yeah,
Actually,
Except
bishop,
with
bishop
king
b3, knight
c5.
f3, I wasn't even sure I was winning.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, that's a very good point.
Take on d... Ooh,
Knight g4. I would
No,
have actually
take on
gotten rid of
b3.
one of the knights. Yeah, I'm very
Yeah.
worried about blundering some forks somewhere. but-
exactly. Bishop takes b3, knight takes b3, knight g4 really looked like the way to go. He played knight g4 immediately, and as you said...
f5, ef,
whoa, he's leaving Levon.
Knight a5 doesn't
F6?
that ain't it. But maybe there wasn't an eat to go for. Yeah, just f6 and
F6 looks like...
F7.
Ooh.
Right.
Very conservative, yeah, knight g3. I mean, it's still winning, right? It's still 2 pawns up, but yeah, game probably could have been over by this point, but I don't see how it still doesn't end exactly as we've predicted. King e4, bishop b3. This is an
tell you.
improvement for black, for sure. Yeah.
Levon is amazing at finding these resources that you really would imagine he has. So look at the cheapo he's about to try to execute. There's a fork, which is one reason why you and I would have taken that knight
Yeah,
on
the knight on
d3
b3
a long time
Had to
ago.
go at some point, right?
Yeah, I would
Exactly.
have limited the number of knights. The first opportunity I got, I would have gotten rid of one of them. Yeah.
I totally agree with that sentiment. Okay,
G4, and then I think we can reasonably safely trade on
g5.
d5.
okay,
Not
one
being
more.
allowed, yeah. We go
One
g5
more,
here.
G5,
We just
yeah,
go
that's an easy
g5
move.
here.
Hold on,
F6.
knight d4 check, right?
Oh, hang on, yeah. Let's not blunder.
Please, guys, don't
It was
blunder.
actually still fine. G5, 94.
No,
that wasn't fine. That
Okay,
wasn't fine.
okay. Is it time for bishop g8? So you
Takes h5.
what?
Wait up. How? Those ones you sometimes don't win.
What? And he's not done it.
He's not done it. He's improving on it. He's gonna.
Oh my gosh! Has Wesley given?
No. You got king f3. Yeah, king f3.
King
knight
f3 you
d4,
can
king
still
f2.
play, but he will not be able to play king g3.
King
You'll
f3,
have to play king
knight
g2.
d4, king f2.
Or
Takes
g2, yeah.
h5.
And then yeah, you go takes h5, yeah. You have to. You have to.
Those aren't always winning, and he's done it.
Yeah.
And there he goes.
You have to take, right?
Yeah, I mean, it probably is winning after knight f5, knight e3, specifically after knight e3. It might be the last, last moment to do it, but
It's winning, but this game
Was
so close.
How does Levon do this? I mean, he's always skating on thin ice.
yeah, this is kind
and
of
somehow
some kind of dark magic, but yeah.
Right? It just feels like
Yeah, he will convert this still, I guess. Yeah.
F5, king F4, knight
King
G4.
f4, knight g4. Yeah, the knight on h6 is way too
Is-
passive for
exactly.
Levon to hold this.
And time a factor?
No, not really.
no,
Not
not,
5 second
not
increment.
anymore. Yeah, not anymore.
Because he's gonna
Levon
get-
Levon came way closer in this game than he had any,
Boy, did
any right to.
Did he ever?
No.
Oh my goodness.
No, that was
I
incredible.
mean, he
resistance.
almost pulled it.
Yeah, he almost got there. Yeah, he almost got there.
Wow.
f6, king f5, king e6.
Yeah, that rather plays itself, doesn't it?
Yeah.
F6, king to F5, and he's done it. And the king is marching through. Ooh. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. What cheapo can
Well, as long as
one
you-
possibly
Was it one
set
night?
up?
As long
He'll
as you
find
don't-
one.
Yeah, as long as you don't play h5, h6. Yeah, like as long as you keep
Okay,
this construction,
king.
black cannot just challenge it at all. Like king e6, king e7 just wins the game. Yeah. You're done. Yeah.
Yes.
Even for Levon, this will be too much to overcome. Yeah. Just
Okay,
go king
G8,
e7.
king E7, and now it's a kind of,
Yeah.
as Tom would like to tell us, 𝙬𝙬𝙬𝙬𝙬𝙬
Zugzwang.
Knight g5. Knight h6 and f7 is not bad. You could also go knight d5 if you want to be a purist of some sort. Yeah, it's like
Purist of some sort.
a purist.
A purist of
I'll
some sort.
play
I think at this point,
H6.
Wesley, any win, he'll take
I'll
it.
just play H6 and just say, okay, well,
A purist of some sort.
a purist
Purist
of
of
some,
some sort.
and I'll just play H6.
f7, king g7, knight g4, and this is where Levon resigns. Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
I like
With 2
H6.
seconds, he does it so casually.
He did it? No.
Oh,
no,
seven,
no,
sorry,
seven,
seven,
seven.
yeah.
No, he wouldn't. There's no reason to go down.
And that's
there
it.
is.
Finally, Wesley takes down Levon.